Hi everyone, it's Carrie Bojarski, and this is our 21-day fix kickoff call. It's Sunday, I'm in a hat, hair is not washed yet, so if you guys are comfy, that's great too, and don't worry about it if with these live calls that you look a certain way. There's no makeup required. You can be in your pajamas. I actually have pajama pants on the lower half of me, and I'm sitting on the floor in my bathroom because right now it's the quietest and the warmest place in the house. So these are going to be informative for you. They're also going to be helpful, and it's also going to be part of an interactive way for us to support each other versus just typing on Facebook in our support group and being encouraging that way. It's a great way to have eye contact and being up in each other's grill and talking about our celebrations, our victories, where we're struggling, because that's what the group is all about. The group is there for the encouragement, but it's also there when everything gets hard, meaning there's events that are kind of pulling you in different directions and helping you lose your focus. We want to be the refocus. So you want to make sure that you are participating in these calls every week if you can, whether you have makeup on or not, whether or not you have showered. It's really okay. It's a no judgment zone, and just because we're live in front of each other's faces doesn't mean you have to be, looking like you just, or I don't know, getting ready to go on a date. You don't have to. Relax, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of green tea, have your water. I've got mine with me. I'm over a gallon today, and I'm just going to keep going, and I actually feel really good. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit today on what to expect, how can you prep in this 21-day fix. How can you prep for the 21-day fix? And also, there's different ways to do that, and I want to talk about a few. One is going to jive with you, and then also some of you are going to end up creating your own way of prepping that works best for you, and share it with us. Share the things that you learn all on your own, and share the things that you come up with, new recipes and everything. Let me grab our slides for you. It'll look a little funky for a second. Well, let's see. Move over and click the webinar that I want to use. Okay. All right, you're all set. So we're all set. And Melissa, if you want to text me if for some reason they're not showing, but it should be pretty good. And let's see. Okay. So this is our webinar on getting started for the 21-day fix. This is our kickoff call. So tomorrow's day one for pretty much everybody except for those of you that thought today was December 1st. So totally fine. Either way is totally fine. You all know when it's time for you. So this webinar is going to help for you to set yourself up for success, because it's so easy in the holidays to be an excuse person and say, oh, well, this party's coming up, so I'm not going to be able to eat well because I've got this 2-hour party that's going to completely blow my week. It doesn't have to be like that. It's Amanda in our support group who really shared some things that I needed to hear as well this week, when she was sharing with, food no longer controls her, and she's in charge of what she's eating to fuel her body. And there's going to be things that happen in the group and things that people share that seem so unmonumental at the time that they're shared, but they really resonate with somebody based on where they're at in their own fitness. So what can you expect, in this webinar and also over your next 21 days? You can expect to check in daily. That's going to help you stay connected with the group and get to know people in the group. And the more you feel connected and part of the group, the more successful you're going to be. Trust me, that's just the way it goes. If you're a person who's thinking, I don't really need that group, and then you forget that it's there, you're the person that doesn't make it 21 days. I'm not trying to say you're setting yourself up for failure, but you kind of are. So if you want to do something that you've never done before, set yourself up for success and check in every single day. If you're a person who's only on Facebook once a week, you want to make sure that you're giving yourself 5 minutes a day to check in at this group. Just go only to this page, check in, see what's going on. There's going to be a daily post. We want your participation. We want to see you in there because that shows us where you're at in your journey and also shows everybody how committed you are to you. And again, it helps us develop those friendships and those connections that you're going to want to start to come into that group and see what's going on and who's sharing something about themselves today, or whose sweaty pic is the sweatiest, or whose face is the most purple, or so anything, just to keep it fun. So you can also expect workout accountability, support, encouragement, and this is all going to happen because you are going to be the change that you want to see in yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody else in your family is doing. You are doing this, and you have the support of over 100 people in that group at this point in time. So how do you prep and how can you prep for this? Well, you want to make sure that you're looking in your nutrition guide and finding your container column. And yes, this is calorie based on the needs that your body personally has right now at this point in time, at this current weight. What you want to do is make sure that you're eating all of those containers and not saving any or skipping any, thinking that you're going to lose weight faster, because you're not. With this program, you have to eat to lose. Okay? You want to nourish your body, and this program is foolproof. If you eat what they tell you to eat in your container column, you will lose weight. It will just fall off your body. If you eat too little, your body's going to hold on to it. So you don't want to leave any containers out on purpose, thinking that you're going to lose faster. So just let that, mentality of needing to restrict food, just let that out of your mind. Let it go. Send it on its way packing with a big old pack and say it's not welcome back here anymore. Do something so that you can start to thinking that food is fuel, and I need that to kind of move forward and feed my body the way it needs to be fed. Okay? Now, are you a person who needs to shop for the 21-day fix? That really is going to depend on the kind of food that you have in your home on a regular basis. Now, when I first started mine, I remember when I first got it, it came on a Saturday, and it was early. It wasn't supposed to be here till Monday. So I ripped that sucker open. I was like, I'm starting now, because I knew, for me, the way I was at the time is I was actually fearing I was going to starve on this program, that I was overeating almost in preparation for day one. It was crazy. Like, it was the last supper, the last week of suppers. It was crazy. So if you've done that, I want you to know that when you ripped open your containers and boxes and saw them and thought, oh my God, I'm going to starve, because you looked at the size of them, I did the same thing too. And I'm sure every single person on this call has done the same thing too. And because it's so easy when our portions are out of control to be like, oh my gosh, that's not a lot of food, that's not going to feed me. Once you pack those containers with the food that goes in them and plate them, I promise you, it will not be an issue. You'll actually probably start to feel like you can't eat everything you're supposed to eat, and that's an awesome thing, because then that means you're fully satisfied and not ravenous, and you're going to be able to just stick with this program long term. And for many people, it's a lifestyle change. So now, do you need to shop? Now, if you do, think about yourself. If you're the type of person who has to shop for everything, from every single container column, why don't you shop for the first 2 or 3 days only of your week, or the first day even, okay? And make enough for leftovers so that day 2 you eat the same exact food as you did for day 1. You want to keep it simple so you set yourself up for success. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later too. Now, how to prep, you're going to want your current weight, and you're going to want to do it the same time of day. So if you're the type of person who loves morning weight, do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow morning. If it was me, I would get up, I would go pee, and then I would get naked, and then I would weigh myself. That's just what I do. So, but if you're the person who doesn't like to get naked, make sure that you're wearing the same outfit for your day 1 weigh-in as you do for your day 22 weigh-in, okay? You can do the same thing for your pictures, and we'll talk about that. Now, you're going to want your current measurements, and that's going to be your bust, waist, hip, etc. And I say that because I've got a photo coming up that's going to show you exactly what you need to take. And I'm going to give you some ideas on where to take certain measurements for the female body and the male body, so that you know that you're getting the same area when you take your end measurements. And you're going to want a before photo. Now, so many people don't take this before photo, and I promise you, you're doing yourself a huge disservice by doing that. You want to see where your body was at when you got started, and then you want to see what you're able to do in 3 weeks' time. It's going to blow your mind. Now, this is my friend Nikki, and she had said that a lot really can change in three weeks. I remember thinking that my body wasn't changing fast enough. I didn't really notice a difference, but I took my pics on day 1 and day 21. And not only can you see a difference, but the way I felt like a different person altogether. Of course, I like to look fit, but honestly, my true motivation is to feel fit, energetic, proud, sexy, and strong. I'm not always ready to commit to a program 100%, but when I do, I feel exactly how I want to feel. So this is going to give you an idea of how to take your pictures. You see up above how she has a great one right from the front, your side photo, and your back photo. Most people don't like that back photo. Take them for you. Just because she shared them doesn't mean you have to share them. But know that anything that goes on in our support group stays in that group. No one's going to take your pictures and share them. Okay? Now, if you give somebody permission to share because you're so excited about your transformation, that's a whole other story. But we want to make sure that you know that you've got your privacy in that group as well. Okay? All right, so where do you take measurements? So many people ask that. Now, this is a great diagram for women. I've got another one for men in the next slide, but this one here is going to show you where you want to take all your measurements. Now, a hint for the women and the men on the chest: do your measurement at your nipple line, because then you know every time you take that measurement, you're going to take the measurement at your nipple line, and you're going to be able to get a true measure of the changes that you're creating in your body. Okay. Now, waist, you know, there's so many different schools of thought on how to take this. Keep it simple. You know where your belly button is. Find your belly button every time and measure around it, okay, for your waist. Now, for the thighs, the right and the left, what I like to do is I call it the crack in my leg. You know, basically, where the leg meets the hip area, we've got that line, and you basically want to count like 6 inches, 3 to 6 inches below that and measure, and just make sure that you're doing the same every single time that you do a measurement. Okay. For your arm, you can find your shoulder and go down 3 inches and do a measurement. Okay, but just make sure that you do them the same every time. Menfolk, here is yours as well. Okay, many of you received a tracker with your program, and if you've already used it, no problem. You know, if you're a person who likes to keep things simple, or you're going to be doing more than one round, a simple single subject notebook is really going to be helpful for you. So you can do your measurements on day 1, and then you can keep track of your food in your subject notebook as well if you love pen and paper. Now, for many of you that love phone apps, we've got a couple that we can tag you in on our private fitness support group. Just let your coach know that you want to know about the phone apps. We've got them for Droid and for the Apple. Okay. Now, what you want to do as well, too, this is so important and this is so key. And some people decide not to do it because they think they have to be at goal after one round, and you don't. It's really about showing Beachbody what one round of this amazing program has done for you. Okay, so you're going to log on to beachbodychallenge.com. You're going to sign up to take the challenge, because in the end, it doesn't matter what your results are, you know, meaning you don't have to be at goal. Not that it doesn't matter what your results are, because it does matter, but it doesn't matter to the company if you're at goal or not. They just want to know what happened in these 21 days for your body. How did your body respond when you were moving and you were eating? Now, there's going to be some of you who are just starting on the food portion because your bodies just aren't ready for the fitness yet, or you feel your body's not ready for fitness yet. So we're starting you a little differently. We're focusing on the food and throwing in a little bit of a walk couple times a week, okay? And some of you aren't doing any movement at all yet because you're in that place where you have over 100 pounds to lose, and I don't want to say that like it's going to be a huge feat. It's going to be challenging, yes, but it's possible. So we're starting you with focusing on the food first, okay? So that we ease into this and help it be really easy, a lot easier on your body. Okay, so you're also going to get a free t-shirt at the end of your program and have a chance to win cash prizes, you guys, starting at $500, okay? And that's just from you showing them how your body responded. Again, you don't have to be, excuse me, at goal. And it's something that is a really neat thing, that if you're doing a round every single month, why not have a chance to win $500? You know, what could you do with that? Seriously. Now, planning. This could be meal planning, this could be planning your water, planning your fitness, okay? You want to set yourself up for success here. So if you plan those 3 things, nothing's going to get in the way of that. But it's when you wait to do those and let other things, you know, kind of come in and take importance over it, that you go, oh, here we go again. You know, I'm not going to be successful this time. Surprise, surprise. Well, it's because if you're not successful with it, and if you allow yourself to not get to the 21 days, it's because you let yourself slide back into old habits that you're trying to change. And this can be the start of a lifestyle change for you. It absolutely can. Many people have done it. Is every day going to be easy? No. You know, is every day going to feel easy? No. But is it doable? Yes. Okay? So don't make excuses for failure. Make a plan for your success. Now, in this photo, you're going to see somebody who planned out their food. This amazes me when people can do this. My brain doesn't work like that. But I can plan 3 days is pushing it, but usually I can plan 2 days in advance, where I'm writing down in a single subject notebook exactly what I'm eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. I'm a person who loves a protein at every single time I eat because it makes me feel more satisfied. I'm not a person who could just eat, say, 3 yellow containers, or, you know, 3 or just noodles at a meal and feel like I ate something. No, 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I want to chew somebody's arm off now because I didn't have any sustenance in that sucker. So now for me, I know I need a red. I need a protein at every single meal. So the first thing I write down is I write 1 red, 1 red, 1 red, 1 red. That's my breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. It's the first thing I do. And then I fill in, what do I want to eat that's going to fit into that red? You know, so in your Shakeology, for those of you drinking it, that counts as 1 red if you're using 1 full scoop. And that's usually my breakfast. And I usually have some fruit. If I'm doing blueberries, I do half a purple container, because I find that a whole purple container of blueberries is quite a bit in a shake. And a lot of times I will do 2 teaspoons of almond butter, just because I love the combination of the chocolate, the blueberries, and the nut butter. And I have been skipping my almond milk in my shake because for whatever reason I'm really loving it just with water. But when I started with it, I was never able to do that. I liked it creamier, and it's just, I don't know, it's really filling a need for me right now. Maybe it's my need for extra water, I'm not sure. But do what works for you. Now, and also planning, I want to go back. Can I go back? There we go. We'll talk about water in a second, so I'm going to go forward. Sorry, guys. Here is a list as well, and this is in our support group. I got this right from there. This is a really quick sheet, call it a cheat sheet, of 21-day fix approved food that you can take with you on your shopping list. Or take a picture right now with your phone, take a screenshot, something, so that it's there for when you go, oh my gosh, I forgot my book. Because you're not always going to have your nutrition book with you. You'll start to understand and know what color is what. So as you are invited places, you know, events between now and day 22, talk to us in the group and say, hey, you guys, okay, I've got this wedding coming up in 5 days, and this is what I hear is on the menu. You know, what should I pick? You know, or this is my thought of what I want to choose out of the menu that's being offered. So we can talk about it and work through it so that you can make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. Because can you do it, and can you have a glass of wine at the wedding? Absolutely. We'll talk in a little bit about how you can do that. Okay, here's a little bit more about how to plan as well. This is a sample of a full week of food, and you can see it's color-coded here in terms of the color of the container. So my Shakeology is in red because that's a red container. Frozen berries is a purple. Okay, it's showing you what a typical week would look like. That's 7 full days. Now, if you're the type of person who's like, oh my gosh, I love this, I'm going to eat exactly this, you can do that, but just take note of the calorie range that this is in here, okay? This is a 1,200 to 1,399 calorie range. This is the lowest column container that there is. So if you're in the second, third, or fourth column, you're gonna have more food. So yours is gonna look a little bit different than mine, okay? Your oils are gonna be different, etc. But this is kind of an idea of what a sample week looks like in that first column. So again, you know, if it's easy for you, there's so many people who simplify and they say every single day for breakfast I'm having the exact same thing, because then it's easy for me to mentally know what's next. You know, my meals are the same, except, you know, maybe your Greek yogurt's the same, you just change up a flavor of it or something, or you add maybe some cinnamon to it, because there's some seasonings in there and some spices that you can add that change flavors of things, but they're not, you know, adding any extra calories and stuff. So, all right. And many people, let me go back, for planning as well, you'll find that there's people that do very well with eating the same thing every single day. Then you'll find people who love variety, but they can plan a whole 7 days in advance. And they're going to be able to share with you how they do that. Or their weeks are the same. So every Monday they're eating the same food, as every Tuesday is the same, every Wednesday is the same. Now there's also people who love variety every single day, and they're creating their own recipes as well. So just know that whatever food choices you have in your nutrition guide, the higher up on the list, the more nutritional value that item has, and the more satisfied you're going to feel. Okay? Now, a lot of people struggle with water, especially if you're a person who is making food changes, water changes, and movement. Holy bananas. It can be easy for you to think and make the excuse of, I'm overwhelmed, or this is too overwhelming. Don't let your mind do that to you. Tell your mind, no, it's not overwhelming, because I'm going to take this one thing at a time, one meal at a time, one glass of water at a time, one workout at a time. You tell your mind who's boss, okay? Because it's going to be your mind that keeps you going forward when everything else you know, can come at you. You know, holiday stressors, family coming into town, you know, people saying, why are you eating that and not this? It's okay. That's what we're there for. We are there for you to be full support behind you so that you can continue to move forward and feel the best that you've ever felt in your whole entire life. Eating real food is going to do amazing things for your body, for your skin, for your eyes, for your mind. You're just going to love it. So one simple thing that you can do that's going to make this so much easier for you, especially if you're a person who's thinking, oh my gosh, I have to drink like a gallon of water a day. I could never do that. Yes, you absolutely can, because you are going to set your alarm to drink 8 ounces of water every single hour that you're awake. Because if you do that, you're going to start to notice you don't feel like you need the coffee because you're hydrated. You're going to start to notice your skin's changing. You're going to start to notice less wrinkles. You're going to start to notice that you're pooping better and not once a week. Okay, everything's going to just start working better. You're going to have less bloating because you're hydrated and your body's not holding on to everything. So when you first wake up, what I want you to do is have 8 to 10 ounces of water on an empty stomach. Okay, then within the hour of that water, I want you to eat your breakfast. Okay, so every hour that you are awake, set a little alarm that goes off every hour. That it could be every hour on the hour, and when that goes off, you know that's your cue to get up and grab 8 ounces. And we can chug 8 ounces like nobody's business. Okay, now if you are a person who is, your water goal is higher than that, then you could set it for 10 ounces every hour. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours as well. So if you are a person who are working and you forget, then you want to set an alarm for that as well, just so you get into the habit of it, and it will happen. Now the first week always feels like that week where you have to think about it more than what you do any other week. Don't let that make you feel that it's not for you or that it's too hard. It's supposed to feel a little bit hard. It's supposed to be something that you think about because it's important to you and it's on your mind and you know this can change your life. So stick with us and we will help you through it. Now, many people are going to be going to holiday parties, or maybe you're just a wine connoisseur and love it and you're used to it every single day. You don't have to cut it out completely, but what you can do 3 times a week is you can use 3 of your yellow containers and have wine in it. Now what I'd recommend is measuring out 4 ounces of wine, and you can measure it in your shaker cup that you get, or you can measure it in a measuring cup, but then pour it in a fun glass so that you feel like you're actually having, you know, some decadence and something, and you're actually going to feel like you're not on a diet because the wine's okay. Again, you can do that 3 times a week, and that will count. Each one will count as a yellow. Now, there's a beverage section in your nutrition guide that you're going to be able to take a look at. You can see how many ounces of what can go in a yellow container 3 times a week. Now, with the exception of if you are using unsweetened almond milk, you actually can have 16 full ounces, that's 1/6, full ounces of unsweetened almond milk for 1 yellow container. And I use that because if I'm putting it in my shake, I really only use 8 ounces of almond milk in my shake, so that's half of a yellow. And then I end up putting about 4 to 6 ounces of water in my shake with my ice, my berries. A lot of times I'll put a green container of spinach just because you can't taste it, and I just feel so good starting the day with a green, a purple, a yellow, and a red typically. So now, there's going to be so many things that kind of cross your mind, like, well, what if I'm out and about and I start to get really hungry and I think I'm going to chew my arm off and I'm not going to make it home with the meal that I had planned? What do I do? There's always going to be what ifs, but you know in your head, okay, can I grab an apple and count that as a purple to tide me over till I get home? Can I grab a cheese stick? A lot of times at Country Fair, they now have 2 boiled eggs. In like a quick to-go area, they have fruit cups. So 2 boiled eggs are 1 red. So you know yourself, okay, if you're famished, I'd go for something with protein in it for sure. You know, grab a couple hard-boiled eggs from a convenience store to tide you over till when you get home. Or, you know, if you're the type of person who you just need to stop, you know, there's salads. There's a lot of places have salads. And I hate to say that you have to turn towards a salad, but I'm just trying to think of something fast food in a pinch. A lot of grocery stores sell salads as well. Vegetable salads, Cobb salads, you know, so you're going to have, you know, your healthier fare and those different kind of things. So, and it's up to you. If you already used a blue for your cheese, you're going to have to pick all the cheese off, you know, in the salad that you're picking. But either way, there's a way, you know, to get around that. So any kind of what ifs you have, post those in our group as well, and we will help you work through them. Or what if I don't get my workout in? Well, you're going to want to schedule that as well. So what we're going to do this week is you guys are going to schedule your workouts, plan your water, plan your first couple days of food, and it's going to feel like a lot of planning at first, but you're going to feel so much better and more at peace knowing when you're eating, what you're eating, and knowing that you have time for you for 30 minutes of movement. And for some people, it's getting up early. A lot of people in our group get up early before work and do it, and they feel so much better than waiting for after work. You know, some people love afternoon workouts and can work out during their hour lunch break at work, or some people are stay-at-home moms and they kind of, you know, do it whenever, but then sometimes it's 10 o'clock at night and they're still doing their workout because it wasn't planned in. So what I say is take the 5 things that are most important to you, plan those things in your schedule first. Okay, your family time, your fitness, you have to eat, right? If you're volunteering, if you're working, schedule those things in first. All that other stuff will fit in too, but get your priorities in first. Promise yourself that you will be here in 21 days. Promise yourself that you will not give up on you and that you will do whatever it takes to be here and have after photos, after measurements and stuff. Don't let, if you're somewhere and you end up, oh my gosh, I had a bite of somebody's pie, that one bite is not going to mean anything in 21 days. So whatever you do, keep going forward. No matter how one day goes for you, keep going forward, because it's not that 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. It's what happens in the whole grand scheme of the 21 days. So questions. I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to go see if we have any questions, because we have our Facebook group, we had a question area in case there was anybody who had questions. And you guys are going to see me. I'm live from the bathroom. Here we go. So you guys can see me now. Does anybody have any questions live? And I'm going to go over to our Facebook page real quick, see if there's anybody over there that had questions. Or anybody who was on YouTube. That one was working. Okay. I don't see anybody with any questions, so I'm going to go back here. Laura, do you have any questions? Melissa, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them on Facebook. I know Melissa doesn't have a microphone or a camera. All right, what we're going to do is, since there's no questions, we are all done, ladies and gentlemen, so feel free to share the recording with other people. The newest link for tonight was in working order. The first one, for some reason, didn't give me an option to record, so we're set. If you guys are, if anybody's watching this and has any other questions, share them on our support group page, and we will answer them there, and that way everybody benefits from the question as well. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest tonight, and let's get ready to rock this 21 days. Bye-bye.